So this video is about my favorite Transformers couple, Ratchet. Okay, so to know their relationship, you need to know them separately first. For Drift, before the war, Drift lived on the streets and stole to survive. He went to a Decepticon rally and got handpicked from the crowd by Megatron himself, and was given the name Deadlock, which is a terrifying name, by the way. After not listening very well to Megatron's orders, they were going to have Deadlock killed for his actions. He then escaped to the planet Theophany. On the said planet, he found a long-lost sect of reclusive neutral Cybertronians known as the Circle of Light, which is actually a really cool name. He went by the name of Drift once again, and stayed with the Circle, and trained with the Way of the Sword. In the end, he stopped being a Decepticon, thinking that the people of his home forgot the reason why they were in a war in the first place. After Circle member Wang died, helping Drift fight a bunch of Decepticon bounties, including the bounty hunter Lockdown, trying to bring in Drift from Megatron. Drift took his fallen friend's sword, and went to go try to make a difference in the war, ultimately just being by himself. Most of the time being like a whole lone wolf situation. After a while, he joined the Autobots. He then became more optimistic and spiritual after a near-death experience. Also, Drift has a lot of near-death experiences. I don't know why. Ratchet too. I think Primus just doesn't like those two, and I don't know why. Anyway, he then tried to find the Knights of Cybertron with Rodimus, and that is where he met Ratchet. At first, they were like friendly rivals. They didn't really like each other, but they don't really hate each other either. They're just kind of there. It's funny in a weird way. But Rodimus made a poor judgment, ending in the deaths of several crew members. Drift took the fall for Rodimus, ending in him getting kicked off the ship. Although, Ratchet discovered the truth and went with Drift on like a whole mini adventure together. It was adorable. Oh yeah, also they defeated a bunch of Decepticons who were trying to make like a whole alien stone army thing, but the Decepticons are not important. What is important is that later they went back to the Lost Light with Rodimus and ended up discussing their true feelings for one another. It's very adorable. But now that we've heard Drift's backstory, it's time for Ratchet's. We're just starting off with the Lost Light because I don't actually know what his backstory was. Like Drift's, I don't know. Drift, I said how he was before the war, but I don't know how Ratchet was before the war. And I know like bits and pieces, like what he did on his job, but I don't actually know, and that part's not important, okay? What's important is love. In the Lost Light comics, Ratchet begins to feel his advanced age and decides to join the crew of the Lost Light to help the universe as much as he can before time caught up with him. During the ship's voyage and going off to go find the Knights of Cybertron or whatever, Ratchet meets up with his old medic buddies, who is now obsessed and insane. His name is Pharma. We don't talk about Pharma. Anyway, moving on. And after a near-death experience from Pharma, that's why we don't talk about Pharma, Ratchet decided that it was a bit too much for any bot to handle, obviously, and passed down his name as Chief Medical Officer to his other medical buddy that was normal and safe to be around, First Aid. We like First Aid. First Aid is adorable. First Aid doesn't want to harm anybody. And funny enough, as a bot of science, Ratchet was an atheist. I mean, he still is, but like a little bit less after actually meeting Primus, which was a whole different thing that we don't need to get into right now. Which, how spiritual Drift is, made them butt heads once in a while. But the rivalry soon turned into a friendship, and their friendship turned into love. And the two of them would be together for the rest of Ratchet's life, and even after Ratchet's death. Drift would visit his grave and just sit there and even sometimes take a nap next to it, just to be with him once more. Why are they so cute? I love them. They are my favorite Transformers couple. Oh my gosh, they are adorable. Well, that's all I got for now. Yeah, okay. Bye-bye now.